Hello and welcome to Minecraft. It's 12:19 p.m. June 2nd, 2025. I don't know what kind of bird that is. I could learn about the picture, but people are sick of me reading. But I like to find out stuff is a problem. My mind is curious and it yearns for information. So I have a little project that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. But first, I'm gonna click on learn about this picture just because I truly am curious what kind of bird that is. I hate to waste people's time. Indian spot-billed duck. Okay. Well, that's good to know. It's a non-migratory breeding duck found in freshwater wetlands in the Indian subcontinent. That's the Indian spot-billed duck. Anaspokilotharoka. Okay. I need to put on my glasses. Back to game. Where are my glasses? They should be in this bag.
They're on the table next to your phone.
Here they are. I can see without them, but it's just not as clear. I always had good eyes, but in the last year or two, it just gets a little blurry when I try and read. Okay, my project for today. This is the white concrete house. And I was thinking of selling it, or I'll put it up for sale and someone can pay $1 and I can put their name on it and it'll be there forever. It's like when people make donations to a museum and they become patrons or sponsors. So I'm gonna have to work out that whole system. The Monopoly board would be hard to build. I've built small versions of it. It's hard to get it with all the type that's on the board. So that would be a big project. That would be in my board games section. Monopoly is its own world. It would be majestic to build all the imagery associated with that game. I don't like to play Monopoly as much as I used to growing up. Someone's feelings always gets hurt. So I don't know what fun that is. So I built these white concrete houses before. It's an art thing. There's an aesthetic to it. Why all white? There's a thing in the art world called the ivory tower, where the elite art thinkers can hang out in, and there's art that can be considered ivory tower art, because the only way you can appreciate the art is if you know art theory. And if you just look at the piece of art, it might not even look like art. And it distances people who don't know a lot about art away from art. It's more for people in the know, and there's an audience for elite intellectual art worth millions of dollars. Okay, let's lay down this floor, and then we'll take a look at some of my piece of paper art that I produced today while sitting in the car with a ballpoint pen and a piece of paper. Okay, let's see. I want to put in this last block. And then I need a bed.
Crafting.
Okay.
Search items edit box.
It's gonna be a white bed.
Search items edit box. Bed.
Thought about doing black, but this will do for now. Just to get the job done. Okay.
Chat screen.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
And press enter to
It's a beautiful day. Here's my piece of paper art. Piece of paper world, Monday, June 2nd, 2025. We're at the storage unit to pick up a little fan that you can put ice in to keep the motel room cool. It's getting hot here in Reno, especially during the middle of the day. And I have all these little drawings. This doy guy I've been drawing since I was a wee kid, wee little lad, 5 years old. He's based off the Goof mask. I used to have that. There's Gumby, Batman and Bobbin. I didn't like to draw Robin, so I drew up my own kind of big-headed Charlie Brown character that could stretch named Bobbin. I'd make comic books of Batman and Bobbin. Or Fat Man and Bobbin, actually. Fat Man was based off my oldest brother because I would watch him eat, and I, as a kid, knew he would be fat when he would grow up, and it turned out to be true. Because as a 14-year-old, he would eat Fiddle Faddle, that caramel popcorn in a box. And it's dang good. But I was athletic, and I was always running around so much that I'd have to stop and just catch my breath. So we listened to classical music in the car. We heard some Beethoven. St. Martin in the Field is my favorite name for classical music. They're in England, St. Martin in the Field. You can probably find them on YouTube. So I was just drawing these little emoji faces. I drew a can of beer. Thanks to donations, I am able to afford a can of beer today. I could drink one right now, but I've got my tea. Often I'll drink tea or coffee along with my beer, because beer dehydrates you. Okay, let's build a proper house. I don't know if I should have the trim around it. Or if I should do that, or if I should do that. I'll go with my original idea. That's usually the best thing to do. So this is an art project as valid as any art I could ever make. I've seen structures like this in galleries where someone will build a white house inside the gallery that you can walk into. And it's a cool space. It's an experience. So in a way, this idea comes from other art, other artists. And that's just the thing. How do you be original as an artist? Well, you just find your own way to do things. Nothing is original. Every thought has a predecessant. I don't know how to speak English anymore. That's why I try and read as much as I can, so that my English language doesn't go to pot, which is happening. I used to be sharper with my English, being in school all day long. I spent a lot of time in college. I wanted to get it right. And there are huge gaps in my knowledge that I know nothing about. And even though Wikipedia is crowdsourced, I'm a fan of it. Hey, there's a parrot. I spawned that parrot a week ago. It's amazing he's still here and hasn't disintegrated. The parrot likes this white house. We're just in a motel room, so it's psychologically good for me to build my own space. Something that is completely mine. But if I sell the house for $1, which I'm going to try and do, then it will technically belong to someone else. But then I'll build another house. Okay, we'll see what happens. It's just an idea I'm working on to raise money. And if you want to donate to this channel, all the stuff is in the description box. PayPal, Venmo, and CashApp. Minecraft is a very clean art. Some people like it really clean. Of course, you've noticed what a mess and a disaster my car is. But I like it that way. I like clutter. There's lots of things in my brain. And I like lots of stuff around me. I feel like myself when things are a big mess. Okay. This is gonna take a while, so I will just keep talking. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching my video. My youngest sister and I had a tiff. She chewed me out in a text saying what a bad person I was. So with her not being nice to me, I didn't feel like talking to her. And she left a nice message in my voicemail. But it seems like she truly feels deep down inside that I'm a really terrible and rotten person for all the things I did or didn't do. Or maybe she wasn't feeling well and she just vented out on me. And I was her target. So I don't even know what to say to her. I'll just say hello. I have to be very careful with my words with her. My nickname for her is Firecracker, because any little thing can set her off. And in our phone conversations, she's always the one doing the talking. I can barely get a word in edgewise. So it's always a monologue instead of a dialogue, which would be more fun for both of us. But she's usually stressed out about something and needs to vent, and I just have to sit there and take it. And she swears a lot. Like it's taxing. She just runs out of words to say, that's all. She gets frustrated, and then she just resorts to swearing. It's kind of a junior high approach, but that's how she is. Let's see, I need a door. Well, it doesn't even have to have a door, does it? Not for this house. This is some kind of modern art structure. If you look at the first Beetlejuice movie, you can see that they decorate the house with white concrete Art Deco design. For now, I'll just make the doorway taller. I was thinking of a flat roof, but then decided that this one would get a slanted roof. It just looks better, and it's more comfortable to be in. Human beings need a slanted roof for some reason. Our motel has a flat roof. We gotta get out of here. So we're gonna apply to low-income housing again. For some reason our last application didn't go through, so we have to do it again. Communication problem. So we'll fill out the forms and see what we can do, and being over there would be better than this micromanaged motel. Amber told me management knocked on the door at 9 at night on a Sunday night for some unknown reason, and she didn't answer the door. She just pretended she was asleep. Who wants to answer the door from an unknown guest at 9 at night?
Message to send. Chat screen. Message to send.
If there was some problem, they could have called, right?
Yeah.
If something was up. No one wants to be bothered on a Sunday night. It's a time to relax and wind down. Okay, this is looking pretty good so far. This is just what I'm focused on. So I played EverQuest last night, and I showed Amber the Elven and Dwarven lands, and we ended up in this place called Dagnar's Cauldron. A place I'd never been before. I'll have to ask my brother about it. See if he's ever been there or what you do there. There's probably some quest. So anyway, I zoned in, and there's a rocky, hilly area, and there were some NPCs. I can't remember if there was a tent or not, but there were NPCs hanging out. Maybe there's a quest there. There's gotta be. But there was a lake. I thought at first it was just grass, but it turned out to be a lake that was covered with slimy moss. Okay, now for the roof. That's gonna be not easy. Is this how tall I want the house to be? I could go in for another layer. The parrot's in the house. That's cute. So it was fun to do some drawings. That's my new name for the world of drawing on paper. It's the piece of paper world. So you have your Minecraft worlds and your different video game worlds and your fantasy worlds and your fictional worlds. So that particular world is the piece of paper world. It's completely free. I can do whatever I want, except for stuff that the censors wouldn't like, which is basically advertisers, but they're the ones who pay the bills, right? So everyone can see their crappy commercials and not buy their crappy products. When an ad comes on, I just put it aside and don't even look at it. So the advertising in my case is ineffective. But I still catch glimpses, and I know about products now that I shouldn't know about, and they occupy my mind, and it's unsettling. It's just like growing up watching TV in the 70s. I think too much advertising causes schizophrenia, or it certainly creates those kinds of feelings where you're doing something and suddenly you're interrupted and you have to think about something else. And even though the ad is only 30 seconds, it can really mess up your head. Oh, let's go inside. I like these copper blocks because they will eventually turn green. Okay. So I watched a video about a guy who liked the old version of Minecraft. I like the new version. I like having every kind of tool that I can possibly have in order to do what I want. In art, they call it a limited palette. And it's a really good way to paint with a limited palette, because you can still get 40 different colors out of just 3 colors and white. You can get a broad range of colors. And then the colors all harmonize and it looks really nice, instead of trying to put every single color in there. Well, that's a lot of fun too. I'm gonna have to think about this house. This pathway started as a science and technology pathway, and that stuff has a relationship to art. Science, technology, and art all go together. Let's go inside and see how it looks. I'll figure out the roof on my own time. This is like a gallery space. Eventually I'll build an art gallery. I always end up doing that. So I'm still obsessed and thinking about that awful Minecraft movie. And instead of doing the shtick, they could have made a good movie. It's like it's trying to be 2 different movies. You have the Minecraft world, which is enough to make your own movie about. And then to put in the human characters was just a mistake. Then I was thinking, since Jack Black and company are on a roll, they could take a movie like The Incredibles and just put their human selves into the world of The Incredibles and just be there. Someone could edit that movie to be like that. And Jack Black can show up in every single kid's CGI movie and take over. Okay. If you're gonna put human actors into a CGI world, give them some good dialogue and give them a reason to be there. I don't know why they wanted to make some stupid movie. I watched it. I watched every scene. I was mesmerized. But the stupidity just went a little too far. There were some awkward moments. And I just didn't care too much about the human characters in the real world of Idaho or in the Minecraft world. I don't know why they did that movie the way they did. They sure did make a boatload of money from it, though. Well, someone's sitting in their swimming pool, or maybe they're rebuilding their house in LA. Okay. So this will take some time to think about what I'm gonna do. I don't know how long it'll take me. Ideas take a long time, and then in the middle of the night, sometimes I get ideas for things. So that's cool. And I was thinking of putting more trees in. I like the trees. I like forests. My middle name is Forest. And then these pathways are going to lead somewhere. I haven't figured out where yet. Let's go over here. I like this house that I built. It's a flat roof. Patio up there. I need a lawn chair. I could paint up there. Let's take a look at the Hobbit house and see how that's coming along. I'm mainly interested in developing this tree. I'll just put another layer of wood here. Okay. Bum bum bum. So I've been thinking a lot about how the energy I use for Minecraft is exactly the same as the energy I use to put into my art. It's the same thing. Well, thanks for watching. So, my mathematics are I need $100 a day to live.
Chat screen.
And that's just the minimum.
Message and press enter to send.
And then in the United States of America, you literally need $1,000 a day. So you can make $365,000 a year. And then taxes, of course. Okay, so you got that chunk of change. And that's just to live, to get your house and office set up. And it's still not enough money for some people. And then if you have a family, that's gonna cost a lot. So you literally need all that money just to have a happy life. Have your spouse and a kid or two and a dog and a cat. And there's medical bills.